All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rahakadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to Akim pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty, and the hopeful elect constantly enduring. Shalom. My name is Kwara Allah, and I'm coming at you with, um, through the Spirit. I'm coming at you with a lesson that may be edifying. Isaiah 55:6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. And this is gonna be something that the elect is gonna do, okay? Because we know 2/3 of Israel, which Israel represents you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? 2/3 of you, which is the wicked of you, you ain't gonna get you ain't gonna get down with seeking Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because mainly because you're seeking worldly desires, okay? You don't want to seek the truth. It it's of no value to 2/3, okay? But the truth, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding is the most precious thing to the elect, okay? That's the elect man and woman, okay? Boy and girl, all right? Serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of our ability, even in your youth, okay? That's the most precious thing, right? Because when you in your youth, you in your, you're in a state of folly. You might want to get into you might want to deal with worldly things, right? But making that sacrifice and cutting off the world and serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to lead to a greater reward. All right, that the main reward is salvation. Okay, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Now is the time to seek Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, because why? It's almost we at the end game. All right, we're at the climax. Okay, this thing is about to go. This kingdom is about to go downhill. All right, and the new kingdom, the righteous kingdom, where the righteous, or I should say, the righteous Israelites are going to be in a righteous state of mind, and they're going to be ruling on the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, the Most High Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're at that time, but before the rulership comes into play, there's going to be judgment taking place in this world, and you same people, especially 2/3 of our people, they're going to be destroyed in that time, and they're going to be ashamed for their wicked acts. Ecclesiasticus 6:36. Let's go with 32. It says, "My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thine ears, thou shalt be wise." Okay, so the listening and learning, especially coming out of the world, it's a humbling experience, right? You have to be humble, willing to take the low, and learning and being prudent, studying. Okay, it says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Yeah, the elders in the truth, right? That's actually doing the works. Okay, those are our leaders. And in today's time, those elders would be the apostles of GMS. All right. But Our people, 2/3 of our people is not doing that. 2/3 of our people scorn, despise, okay, this truth, this gospel. That's what it is, the good news. Our people hate it, 2/3 of our people. But a remnant is going to find this thing to be refreshing, to be beautiful, okay? It says, be willing to hear every godly discourse and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. That's where number one, prayers come in. You got to prayer for understanding, okay? You got to fast for understanding. And then you have to listen and be prudent, be humble, right? And the Spirit will guide you. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Okay? So you have men that's set up to teach, okay? Starting with the apostles, the bishops, the elders on down, GMS, and the brothers in like manner. But here it is. No one beats down the doors. No one's at their doorsteps willing to learn. What's the doorsteps? The doorsteps would be any form of understanding. Okay. Now, yeah, we you could go in person or during the week or on the weekends. Brothers out there in the highways and byways, you might know where to find them. Okay, but the doorsteps nowadays would be online. Everything is online. All businesses is conducted online. Transactions made online. Okay, um, discoveries. Everything is a click away. Okay, so you go online. Most likely, go to YouTube or whatever app you might use, and you will go in and you will seek the truth. And the Lord may lead you to a, a GMS camp, okay, and you'll just learn like a newborn baby, you know, and go through the stages of learning and growing in this thing until you're able to teach also for yourself and also continue to grow, continue to learn, but now you teaching, all right? It says, if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Get all the understanding, get the parables, get the breakdowns, get the name of the Lord, okay, get the prophecies, right? After a while, the Spirit will just deal with you to the point you can read for yourself and break it down yourself, and then the Spirit will have you be on point because you're gonna want to double check. It says, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. Right, because what says, meditate continue in his commandments, right? It says, let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord and meditate continually in his commandments, right? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua set everything up, you know? And it says what? It says meditate continually in his commandments. The commandments isn't done away with. Okay, you can't just go around breaking every law, statute, commandment because the Lord became the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrificial lamb. No, the reason the Lord did that was to give Israel a clean slate. All right, that was mercy. That was ultimate mercy. Ultimately, mercy being shown to Israel. But that's ultimately being shown to the elect of Israel. Yeah, all Israel will be saved in the kingdom. It does start there, but on this side, the elect is gonna bring back all of Israel because 2/3 have to be destroyed. Okay, well, I hope I didn't confuse anybody there. Okay, but this is what the elect is gonna do, man. It's beat down, get the understanding, all right, and go out there and prophesy. beat down the doorsteps of our teachers, which is the apostles and the bishops and the elders. Okay, 6 and 9 to the point, and he said, "Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not; see indeed, but perceive not." Right, and we're telling these people, we're telling our people what, that they're the Lord's chosen people. They can't see that, they can't perceive that. Okay, because their brains are so fried, they're so consumed by Esau, aka the so-called white man's teachings, the so-called white man's doctrine. Okay, they believe they come from Africa. They're African American, Afro American. They believe they're monkeys. Right? Our people will believe anything except for the truth. That's why it says, "And tell this people, hear ye indeed, will understand not; see ye indeed, will perceive not." The Lord's a dark-skinned man. Salvation is coming. America's about to be destroyed. They can't perceive these things. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears. And let's just go into NLT real quick. Isaiah 6 and 10. Harden the hearts of these people, which the hearts is referring to the mind, right? From the Hebrew word lab. It says, plug their ears and shut their eyes. Yeah, spiritually, their ears are plugged in and their eyes are shut. All right, meaning what? They're seeing things, but they don't have the understanding. Okay, they only see vain and worldly things, but spiritual things they can't acknowledge. They will not see with their eyes, nor hear with their ears, nor understand with their hearts, and turn to me for healing. That's why we don't expect a big crowd, a big audience, a big church. Okay, this is only for a few people. It says, which the few people is going into the 1/3, the elect, which consists of the 144,000. Then I said, Lord, how long will this go on? And he replied, until their towns are empty and their houses are deserted, and the whole country is a wasteland. The last part again, Isaiah 6 and 11 says, Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities are laid wasted and without inhabitants. The houses are without a man, the land is utterly desolate. The houses are without a man. That's going into destruction, man. That's going into that draft. A lot of these men, they're gonna die at war. Okay, because when all hell break loose, even in the streets, right, domestic, and all hell break loose, you're gonna have people risking their lives by breaking and entering into another man's house. Okay, so a lot of men are gonna die in these acts. Okay, not only are they gonna die overseas, but they're gonna die trying to feed their families or for their families. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of death on both ends. Those defending their house and those attacking. Okay, it says, until the cities are laid waste without inhabitants, the house are without man, the land is utterly desolate. Right, so these people aren't gonna seek the Lord until it's too late. Okay, they're just gonna be destroyed in that mainly, right, all these plagues to come upon this place, and it's gonna end with that nuclear those nuclear warheads going off, and also the chariots of the Heavenly Father, or the angels of the Heavenly Father, destroying this place with that concentrated fire. 1 and 23, you can start up too. Start at 1 and 20. Okay. But Proverbs 1 and 23 says, Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will part my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. The Lord did that, man. The Lord made his words being known unto us through the Israelites, through men out there on the highways and byways. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel. It says, Slack, it says, turn at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit onto you. I will make known my words unto you. Proverbs 1 and 24, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. And through the spirit, I'm just getting on 2/3 of Israel right now, you so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. The Lord is highly upset and disappointed with you all, man. Because it's supposed to be a Israelite church on every corner preaching the gospel. But here it is, 2/3 of our people just don't want to get right. Right? It says Proverbs 125, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Okay, our people rather sell drugs, our people rather be pimps, you know. Scriptures say folly is set in great dignity, which is what those influencers, okay? Anything besides preaching the gospel, man. Besides getting the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, but ye have set at no all my counsel, but none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. And these things are going to happen at a moment's notice because our people are not watching. Okay, they're not being circumspect, and they have no idea what times they're in according to prophecies. Okay, now we've been telling you people through the spirit the time of the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, is upon us. Okay, we've been talking about it, starting with the apostles, the bishops, okay, elders on down, the brothers, going back 40 plus years. We've mentioned and warned about the RFID microchip and not to take it, but now it's being established, and it's crazy because the majority of our people still don't see it. You got Edomites and heathen nations that see it, but our people they just can't get it through their heads. Okay, you look at them AI data centers, right, and wonder why it's being set up. You look at um, the the digital um this whole digital economy, right, and why that's being set up. The Internet of Everything. The reason why is because these things is going to complement the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. All right, and also you're gonna see that draft. You're gonna see war. You're gonna see death by the sword. Okay, the economy is crashing. The elites, your government is lying to you about these numbers. Right? When you look at the stock market is doing good. It's not possible. It's not logical. All right. Gas prices are sustainable, not for long. The 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 dollar is depreciating day by day. Okay, and ultimately this thing is gonna just pop off on a moment's 14 notice. And 15, the simple believe every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. Right? You believe every word, everything you see on the media, on TV, everything your government says, right? And a lot of it is lies. They've been lying to you since you was in kindergarten, right? Learn about slavery. Just lying to you then. Just lying, you know. They're lying. It's even worse now. Okay, and then also what's in the news? They're lying about. You can't believe a word they say, and they don't have your best interests at heart. They don't care about you not being able to pay on your mortgage or your rent. They don't care about that. They don't care if you can't feed your kids. All right, they're gonna sacrifice you anyways for their newer order, right? Or their enterprise. It says, "A simple believe every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." Yeah, the prudent man representing the elect man, they know who their enemy is. All right, they know the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who to call upon. A wise man feareth and departed from evil, but the fool regardeth and is confident. Yeah, our people they believe in Esau Edom, so they're gonna do whatever Esau Edom says do, right? And if that consists of wickedness, it's not a problem for 2/3 of our people, right? But it says a wise man feareth and depart from evil. Yeah, we're not doing wickedness, all right? We're not taking any unlawful fluids in our body. The scriptures speak about not piercing your skin, okay? The scriptures speak about even the food you eat, right? This dietary law you're supposed to keep, right? But our people break every single law, statute, commandment because it was taught to them by Esau Edom. Esau Edom is the wicked. He can't follow not one law. All right. So of course he will justify breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, but the fool regardeth and is confident. Right. So the 2/3 of our people is confident in Esau Edom and their beliefs. And that's why 2/3 of our people is not gonna make it. It's gonna get really bad and really ugly out here. Low and satisfying. I want to say all praise, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Hakwadash, the honesty apostles, Bishop Elsbury, Millstone, Citation Stocking, pushing this word in all city and honesty. Shalom.